Greetings, my friends. Reformed Stoic here, back with another message for you. So, I was in a chat just now, having an interesting discussion. It ended up just kind of leading to me talking about a number of things that I think are wrong with the world, and kind of some of the behind the scenes of the establishment and how things are controlled and for what purpose, and it all just kind of led up to the ultimate state of the world that we're in right now, and it led to a rebellion against God. And really a lot of what was at the top of this overarching explanation of what's happening was the third secret of Fatima, which a lot of people say has never been released to the public, but some suggest that it has through people like Malachi Martin. And supposedly it has something to do with a top-down rebellion against God. And that's what a lot of Catholics believe that they're seeing in the church right now, that there's some corruption in the Vatican and other aspects of the Catholic Church. But the video isn't necessarily meant to be about that, but more just the rebellion against God. Obviously, this is a pretty serious message here compared to other things that have been on my channel. And, you know, this isn't like a psychic message, or I'm not going to be one of those people who says, this is a message from God. There's a lot of channels like that on YouTube. Like, they will just straight up say that what they're saying is a message directly from God. And I think that's cringe, just about every time. Sometimes I'll hear them out and think, like, okay, it was, like, does that message sound like it would be from God? But it is a little mysterious how this came to my mind. I just thought this was something that should be shared, and I'll figure out how to label it, as always, something snappy that gets a little bit of attention, because ultimately, guys, this is just my advice for you, whoever you are, moving forward. Chances are, if you're here, you're someone who's maybe down bad, down pretty bad. There's different levels of bad, but you're not where you want to be. You're not where you want to be. I was about to say you're not married with a family and a career and a bunch of friends. That's where I want to be. But maybe you're just not where you want to be and your life looks different. Maybe you are married and you're not having a great time. Regardless of that, there's a lot of different ways you can be down bad. But the point is, guys, I came up with this metaphor in my mind. I think sometimes metaphors are a very helpful way to get a message across, and it's in relation to this rebellion against God, okay? The metaphor is a party is in the process of being busted. Let's say it's like a mansion party, right? Because we're in the world, it's a big party, and it's going to take a while for the cops to get through the gate, okay? Let's say like you're out back smoking cigarettes and there's some raging party going inside, and you see that the police are pulling up to this gate, alright? The party's busted. The party of the world is busted, okay? And the mansion is the world, and we're all the people at the party because we're rebelling against God, okay? Everyone is on some level rebelling against God. And the people who are atheists and they're sucked up into secular culture, they are just full-on rebelling against God. And a lot of my struggle is I'm jealous of people. I'm still jealous of people who are rebelling against God. I've had a lot of lows lately. By the way, just really quick, that new Blink-182 song, that chorus from Tom, man, that's just really hitting the nail on the head lately. Like, I don't feel pain, ultimately because you're numb from your experience, but I feel more than you ever know. Like, you're feeling a lot of things that are hurtful, but you don't feel pain anymore because you've been hurting for so long that you're numb to the pain. I don't feel shame, which I kind of do, but for some reason that still just sounds right. I don't have highs, but I have some lows. The best for you is a medium. And then the only part I remember after that, because I don't quite remember the whole thing yet, is that I feel I've been cursed. That just really, I feel like he's talking about me, man. And I know it's kind of generic lyrics. It's kind of that generic, like, I'm sad lyrics, but it's just relatable enough to where it's like, man, I feel like Tom knows what I've been going through, man. But anyway, that just kind of seems relevant right now. Like, that song's really just tapping into this feeling that I feel like a lot of guys can relate to, and some women too, I'm sure. Just, you're numb to the pain, but you're still feeling a lot of things, more than you ever know. I don't feel shame. I don't have highs, but I got some lows. I feel like I've been cursed. So that, for this party, because, you know, God and the end of the world is the cops at the gate, and you seeing these cops at the gate, where you're thinking is, man, I never got to hit the bong. And there's probably a better thing related to the party, like, man, I never got to sleep with any of these girls at the party. So, the jig is up. The cops are at the gate. The party's about to get busted, and you're thinking, man, but I never got to hit the bong. Or, man, I never got to sleep with any of the girls at the party. And the bottom line is that the cops are going to be there any minute. And if you try to get up in that party and sleep with one of these girls or hit the bong, I know hit the bong is kind of a goofy thing. It should probably be like sleep with one of the girls, because that's more relatable. But if you go hit that bong, when the cops get up there, there's a good chance that you're going to be hitting the bong, and you're going to be busted, even though weed is legal now. But let's say, like, you're a bunch of kids at a party. You're a bunch of 16-year-olds in high school at this party. And the best shot for you to not get in trouble right now, because you see that it's coming. Like, you see that the end is near. The jig is up. It's a wrap. If you go try to get in that party and, you know, sleep with a girl or smoke the bong, you're going to get caught red-handed, and you're going to be in trouble. So it's time to run. It's time to run away from the rebellion. It's time for you to stop the rebellion against God. And if you haven't read Mere Christianity from C.S. Lewis, great book. It's one of those books that I just feel like I remember that it was amazing, and it all kind of just washed over me. And if I was trying to, like, summarize the book right now, like, tell me everything you learned from it. Well, one of the things that stands out, I mean, he just unfolds this giant argument of, like, how you go from being an atheist and having a secular worldview to being a Christian. But the thing that really stood out to me is that you realize at some point that you are in a rebellion against God. You have your weapons, and you think, oh no, what am I doing? I screwed up. Like, I'm rebelling against the Creator. I'm doing everything I'm not supposed to do. And you gotta put the weapon down, and you just gotta stop. Like, you have to stop the rebellion against God, guys. And obviously, fornication is a part of that. That's a big part of what I've been struggling with. I have regrets from my secular life, because, man, what it all comes down to for me is, ever since my junior year in high school, like, I've been living this party, secular, rebellion life. I got sucked into all kinds of different rebellious music, death metal. That led me towards, like, at one point that really led me towards, like, Luciferianism and Satanism, okay? I feel like I was smart enough or clever enough to follow what society was leading you towards. You know, we're all taking part in this culture, this counterculture. And, you know, most people, they never really get to the bottom of it. They'll say anti-Christian things because, you know, just mainstream atheism, leftism, a lot of anti-Christian opinions, a lot of, like, speaking against the church. But they don't follow it all the way. I got to a point where I was, like, reading Behemoth lyrics and Nile lyrics and Aeon lyrics and thinking, well, what is an Aeon and what's Nephilim and why does he call himself Nurgle, and what's Zoskaya Cultus, and what is all this stuff? It kind of seems like they're drawing these lyrics from somewhere, and I discovered occultism, and I got deep into occultism. I got to the highest levels because all of this culture is emanating from this stuff. It's emanating from real occultism where there is real theistic Satanism, and I found it. At one point, I ended up finding, like, thejoyofsatan.com, and I had all sorts of different levels in my weird occult phase, but it got to a point, guys, where there was a time where I said, like, Hail Satan before I went to bed, okay? That was a part of it. it got to a point where I made this Luciferian chant that was like the most popular Luciferian chant on YouTube. I deleted it. But there was a Luciferian chant on YouTube once that had maybe like, I don't know, 10,000 views or more. I made that, and I took that down. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, like, I followed the media. I was clever enough to follow this rebellion, and all kinds of people like this rebellion, but they don't understand it on a high level. I got to a very high level within this rebellion, guys, and it expressed itself as something very dark. And all you can do when you realize that you've been fighting this rebellion against God, no matter how far along you've gotten, is put down your weapons and stop rebelling. And that was years ago. That was years and years and years and years ago. You know, my dark occultism was 2015, 2016. I was starting to put that behind me at some point in 2017. I'm not exactly sure how I got there in this video, but hell, man, I knew this was going to be like something spiritual, something relevant to the Bible and the Word of God, and something very serious. And no matter what you've done, no matter how far you've gone along, I mean, what are you going to say? It's like, screw it, I'm too far, I'm just going to keep rebelling. All you can do is put down your weapons and stop rebelling. And in terms of the party metaphor, which, as far as the specifics that I've got into, now I'm thinking, like, I don't know if that metaphor can really cover it, but when the cops are at the gate, it's just, I shouldn't be here, and I gotta get out of here, man. And as far as like the moral aspects, I don't think the metaphor covers the moral aspects, because you're just trying to get out of Dodge. You're just trying to escape and not get in trouble. And the thing is that Christ will save you. Christ will save you. But what he did say when he came across people on his journey, when he was healing people, he would say, now go and sin no more. It doesn't mean you're never going to sin again, but sin no more. As far as, like, you know, Christ has just got you, faith alone, salvation, I'm not confident in teaching that to people, because I'm not so sure that that's enough. So I would just say, continuing to live in sin is continuing to rebel against God. And if you go back into that party and you continue searching for these things of the world in the party, because two of the most powerful passages for me lately, hopefully I can remember the other one of them is that you must not love the world, for then God is not within you. The love of God is not within you if you love the world. And I just posted that. That's from 1 John 2 something. I just posted that one on my wall. Okay, and then the other one is that the love of the world will grow cold. And I'll go ahead and post that in the description as well. I believe that the love of the world is growing cold right now. And a lot of people are feeling down bad, left out, jaded, hurt. You can't believe the narcissism. You can't believe the Dark Triad. You can't believe the betrayal. You can't believe the selfishness. And part of why you have been victim to this pettiness is because you did not love the world, at least not as much as other people did. And that means that the love of God is in you. So, and this is kind of getting at that chosen one stuff. I'll probably just go ahead and throw chosen ones in the tags, you know, because why not? But I think this is a little bit different what we got going on here. So in terms of what should you do now, I'm down bad, I'm hurting, what do I do? Earlier part of your life, you went to a mansion party, okay? Maybe you didn't have as much fun at the mansion party as everybody else. But the bottom line is the cops are at the gate, and you're out there smoking cigarettes, and you guys got a head start, okay? You got a head start. You see that the cops are here. I'm not telling you that I like know that the end of the world is here or anything, or oh, Jesus is coming back in 6 months, in a year and a half, or 2 years. But I know that things are bad, and I'm pretty confident that like we're not just gonna say, oh, you know what, and everything's fine, and oh, now there's a golden age and kumbaya, and I don't think things are gonna get better, you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't think things are gonna get better. So if you don't start figuring out like your battle plan from here, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be rough. And there still could be good things in your life. But honestly, you guys, I think you need to live a life of worship and of stopping the rebellion. It's time to leave the party. It's time to leave the party, guys, because the cops are coming. Okay? I didn't get to hit the bong. I didn't sleep with any of the girls at the party. It's time to just accept your lot in life and hope that God will provide. It's time to kind of just like sit and fold your hands and look down. Okay, like I've really been struggling lately. I've had a lot of low moments. But what I think it comes down to is that, like I was talking earlier today on stream about purgatory. Sometimes people just say, man, I feel like we're living in purgatory. This is some sort of purgatory world. Well, purgatory is a spiritual purification through discomfort. You know, some people say it's like you're in something exactly like hell and it's purifying you through pain, but it's uncomfortable, okay? It's something uncomfortable that purifies you and makes you ready to be with God. I don't know if this is purgatory. I don't think that's what's going on. But I think, for me, that purification through discomfort process has started. And it has started in my life when I did the very first initial by becoming a Christian of some sort, by realizing, okay, I don't want to worship Satan, or I don't want to be into Luciferianism. I don't want to be into the occult. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to follow Christ. When I started that, when I started on that path, it began a process of purification through discomfort. And it's still going on, and it's probably still going to go on. But at this point, guys, I have hope for the salvation of my soul. And I would say the salvation of your soul in the metaphor is like just getting away from the cops. Okay, getting away from the wrath of God. Those cops are the wrath of God. And everybody at that party who's woo, when they're caught in that party with their pants down, when the cops get there, they're going to face the wrath of God. And that's another one. All wisdom begins with the fear of God. Why should I fear God? See, I think that God loves us, and yeah, God does love us, but He has all the power. So wisdom comes from the fear of God, because it's like, well, let's not be stupid here. Like, God decides my fate. So you are wise to understand, respect, and fear. You don't live in fear, but you understand, wow, like God could obliterate me. God could do things to me that I don't want to happen. So I guess what I'm saying is focus a little bit less on your suffering and understand that you've done wrong. You're likely feeling some of this purification through pain. And the more you get in line with God's plan for you, I think that's the best shot you have, guys. The jig is up. The party's over. The cops are here. I would not be surprised if things just keep getting worse for the rest of our lives. Maybe something could happen for you in the meantime. Maybe you'll find a girl that you click with and want to be with. In the meantime, maybe you'll figure out something for you. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not looking good. And I really believe that the best thing that you could do for your happiness and just in general is lay down your weapons, stop the rebellion against God, stop worrying about what's going on in that party, and flee from the things of the world. So I'm probably still going to have a little bit of I mean, you know, what I was about to say is I'm still going to have my day-to-day struggles, but I'm going to try to suck it up, and the weekend's over. Like I said, the weekends are hard on me. I'm going to try to get back on my grind. I'm going to try to stop complaining so much, and I'm going to try to follow my own advice here, guys. So, I don't know. I don't know how good that was or what that amounted to, but that message just kind of like popped into my head. It's like, wow, I'm saying like a lot of interesting stuff in this chat, and I feel like I should make a video related to what I'm saying. So there it is, guys. Flee from the things of the world. Jig is up. Cops are here. Get right. God bless.